Hello everyone, I, Mr. Vishal Shah, Assistant Professor, Krishna Institute of Pharmacy, Karad, once again welcome you all to this session of the Pharmaceutical Analysis 1 subject. In this video, we are going to cover the chapter that is the acid-base titration, and we are going to cover the point that is the Arrhenius theory. As we know, or you may have studied, that this is the first theory which was put by the scientist Arrhenius, which is known as the first theory of the acid and base. So we are going to cover this Arrhenius theory in this video. In previous video we have covered the introductory part as well as the few definitions related to the acid base titrations. If you have not watched my previous videos related to the pharmaceutical analysis, you can watch it on my YouTube channel. And if you like the content of this my YouTube channel, please like my videos, share with your friends and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So let's begin with our today's session. Now before starting our today's session, just we will see what are the learning outcomes of this session. So after this session, students will be able to study the Arrhenius theory that is used for the acid as well as the base. So let's begin. What is this Arrhenius theory? So Arrhenius in 1887 has firstly proposed this theory which describes the behavior of the acid as well as the base. So he has compiled certain definitions for the acid as well as the base and how the reaction between this acid as well as the base are occurring. As it is a first theory which was proposed by the Arrhenius, whatever the certain facts that he has proposed, these stood correct, but some facts that he has proposed, they were not correct. So they were later on modified by the other different scientists, and as we know, today the acid-base theories are known as by three different ways. So three different theories are there which explains the behavior of the acid as well as the base. First one is as I said, the Arrhenius theory of acid and base. Second one is the Bronsted and Lowry theory, and third one is the Lewis and Lewis theory. So these are the three different theories which explain the behavior of the acid as well as the base. So actually acid-base titration is very important because it can be applied to the all reactions except the oxidation, or you can say redox reactions, where that there is a reaction between the oxidizing agent and the reducing agent, except that we can classify every reaction in terms of the acid-base titration because they will be having certain acidity as well as the basicity. So that is important to study the different theories which explains the behavior of the acid as well as the base. So now according to the Arrhenius, what is the meaning of acid? So acid is a substance which dissociates into the water. Dissociates means what? For example, we know the molecular formula of hydrochloric acid, that is the HCl. So when we add HCl into the water, it splits into H plus ions and the Cl minus ions. So this is known as this process is known as the dissociation. So as soon as we add the acid into the water, it dissociates and it produces one or more hydrogen ions. So that is nothing but the definition for the acid. Means they only produce the H plus ions in the aqueous solution. Aqueous is nothing but the water. So according to the Arrhenius, what is the meaning of acid? Acid is a substance which dissociates in the water and which will produce one or more hydrogen ions. Similarly, he has classified a base is a substance which also dissociates into the water and it produces one or more hydroxide ions. Hydroxide ions is nothing but the OH. So acid must consisting of a H plus ions, otherwise it will not donate, and base must consisting of a hydroxyl ions, that is the OH ions, so that in order to it acts as a base. So these are the various definitions that he has proposed for the acid and the base. Also he has said when the reaction between the acid and base takes place, that type of the reaction is known as the neutralization. And the neutralization takes place because the hydrogen ions that are coming from the acid, they are reacting with the hydroxide ions that are coming from the base and they produce the water. So neutralization is a reaction due to which there is a formation of the water and salt will takes place, or you can say salt and water will takes place. So these are the various definitions that he has proposed. That is the definition for the acid, definition for the base, and the what is the meaning of neutralization reaction. But certain facts that whatever he has proposed, certain compounds are there which does not suit to this particular definition, because certain substances are there which does not have a hydroxide ion but still they are acting as a base. Because what Arrhenius has told, he said that base is a substance which is having the hydroxide ion. Means if the molecular formula of that particular compound is not consisting of the OH ions, according to the Arrhenius, this is not a base because there is no any hydroxide group, and as it is not hydroxide group is not present, that particular compound is not able to produce the OH ions. So means it does not act as a base. But later on it was not correct, because some compounds which are basic in nature but they do not contain the hydroxyl group, that is in its structure. So for example, hydrochloric acid is neutralized by both the sodium hydroxide solution as well as the ammonia solution. So in ammonia there is no any presence of hydroxyl. Hydroxyl group is not present, but as it is reacting with the hydrochloric acid, means it is acting as a base. So hydrochloric acid is reacted with sodium hydroxide as well as the ammonia, which involves the similar type of the reactions. In both the cases, product is colorless solution which can crystallize to get a white salt of the either sodium chloride or the ammonium chloride. Means there will be formation of the salt takes place in both the reactions. Means according to Arrhenius theory, this is acid base reaction, or you can say neutralization reaction, because there is a formation of the salt and water takes place. These are clearly very similar reactions which are known as the neutralization reaction. We can write down different equations for these also. For example, when NaOH in aqueous solution, it reacts with the HCl in the aqueous solution, which leads into the formation of the NaCl and a water, where this NaCl is nothing but the salt in aqueous format. If we evaporate this water, we will get the crystals of the NaCl. Similarly, when we react the ammonia in aqueous solution with the HCl, it will be converted into NH4Cl. That NH4Cl is nothing but the ammonium chloride, which is also a salt. So here we can get the neutralization reaction, because according to the Arrhenius, when there is a formation of the salt takes place, that type of the reaction is known as the neutralization reaction. And we know in neutralization reaction there is a reaction between the acid and the base. And if here HCl is acting as an acid, definitely this NH3 is acting as a base. But as we know, what is the meaning of base according to the Arrhenius theory? It must consisting of hydroxyl group. But here you can see in the structure of the ammonia, there is no presence of the hydroxyl group. So but still this NH3 is acting as a base, and Arrhenius was not able to explain the behavior of these substances. So many examples are there which doesn't consisting of a hydroxyl group, still they are acting as a base. Also few examples of acids are also there which doesn't consisting of H plus ions, but still they are acting as a acid substances. So in the sodium hydroxide case, hydrogen ions from the acid are reacting with the hydroxide ions from the sodium hydroxide, and it is in line with the Arrhenius theory. But however, in the ammonia case, there are no hydroxide ions. So some of the compound which do not contain hydrogen ions but still show the acidic property in the aqueous medium. So this is the first limitation, that few compounds which are basic in nature but they does not contain the hydroxyl group. And a second limitation for the Arrhenius theory, that some of the compound do not contain the hydrogen ions, but still they show acidic property in the aqueous medium. For example, ferric chloride. So also copper sulfate, then carbon dioxide. If you observe the molecular structure of these three compounds, they doesn't consisting of any H plus ions, but these substances are also acting as a acidic substances. For example, if we observe the reaction between the ferric chloride and the water, FeCl3, when it is reacted with the water, it is converted into ferric hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. So here water is acting as a base while FeCl3 is acting as an acidic substance. So in this way, this Arrhenius theory does not explain the behavior of such a compounds in which there is a absence of hydrogen ions, still they are acting as a acidic substances. Another example we will consider. In the same way, some of the compounds which do not contain the hydroxide group, but still they show a basic property like sodium carbonate. So similarly, we have seen the reaction for the ammonia. So here we can observe the reaction of sodium carbonate and water, which leads into the formation of the sodium hydroxide. So these are the two limitations for the Arrhenius theory. That is, the first one is the structural compounds which are having the basic nature, but they does not consisting of a hydroxyl group, and some compounds which doesn't consisting of a H plus ions, but still they show acidic property in aqueous medium. Then the third limitation for the Arrhenius theory is that the Arrhenius acid base concept is applicable in aqueous state only, but not for the gaseous state. As I said in introduction also, that according to Arrhenius, acid, these are the substances which dissociate into the aqueous solution. So these concepts are applied into the aqueous solution only. But however, the same reaction also happens between the ammonia gas and hydrogen chloride gas. Mean if these both are present in a gaseous condition, in that condition also there is a reaction between the HCl as well as the ammonia, which leads into the formation of the ammonium chloride salt. So here this Arrhenius theory is not applicable for the above reaction, as the reaction is carried out in the gaseous phase, but this reaction gives the same product as that of the aqueous phase. So here also Arrhenius feels that the acid base reaction are only occurring in the aqueous state, but this is not true. They are occurring in the gaseous phase also. This is the third limitation. And the fourth limitation is that Arrhenius theory says that H plus ions available freely in aqueous solution, but this is not true, but they essentially it is present, or they are always available in the hydrated form to form the hydronium ions. Means H plus ions which are donated by acid, they are combined with the water, that is the H2O, and which are converted into the H3O plus ions, and these H3O plus ions are known as the hydronium ions. So here you can see that H plus ions will combine with the H2O, here not H3O, and they are converted into H3O plus ions. So these are the four limitations that Arrhenius theory is having, and due to which few different scientists which modified this acid base theory, and they tried to overcome these limitations, and they arose to the two different theories, that is the Bronsted-Lowry theory and Lewis acid base theory, that we will study in the next part. So thank you. If you have any queries related to the pharmaceutical analysis, you can contact me on this particular mail ID. And if you like the content of this my YouTube channel, please like my videos, share with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.